Hey, this is the anti-social socialite back at it again. Thanks so much for tuning in. If you're new to the channel, you have not yet subscribed, what are you waiting for, darling? Hit that subscribe button, smash that notification bell so when I get to running this mouth, baby, you are in the loop. Shout out to all the new subscribers. Thanks so much for hitting that button. You see the title, you know what time it is. 5 easy ways to break the ice with someone you don't know. When you're getting with somebody who you have been in close proximity to for some time, maybe they're a co-worker, maybe they're at an activity that you attend, maybe they're part of a religious organization that you're a member of, it's very different than when you meet somebody for the first time randomly, just when you're out and about. So what exactly do you say to somebody in order to break the ice? I'm going to give you 5 tips on things you can say in order to get a conversation going and maybe leading to a date. Okay, so number 1, situational icebreakers. I don't know about you, but when I go to the supermarket to look for a sandwich, I always have a real issue about why there are 3 ingredients in this sandwich, 2 are great, 1 is awful. Now, you could be standing there looking at the sandwiches, a person comes up beside you and they're just like, oh my gosh, which one should I get? And you could just say, I just don't know why you would put this with this. Not only is it funny, maybe the person has had the same experience. So just by looking around you and starting a conversation about what you see around you is a great way to break the ice. I recently went into a supplement food store and I bought a particular item and the guy at the till was just like, oh my gosh, I only use this product for this. What are you going to do with this product? And I was so happy that I actually knew something else that I could use this product for. Just remember, the world is a stage and everything around you is a prop. So if you see an interesting poster, if you see an interesting piece of artwork, or it could be just something as boring as sandwiches or supplement in a health food shop, there's always a way to start a conversation. The next one I want to talk about is piggybacking off of number 1, called commonality cues. What do I mean by this? You may meet somebody while you're out and about and they're wearing a jersey for the football team that you support. Maybe they have on the sweater for the university you attended. They may be wearing something to which you can relate. It's an opportunity for you to start a conversation because you already have something that you share. Okay, the great thing about commonality cues is you have the who, what, where, why, and when questions that you can always ask to keep the conversation going. And that's the whole point of trying to break the ice using something that you already have in common. You see, when you have a jersey that the person is wearing for your favorite team, you can ask them questions like, did you see the game last night? Who do you think, stole the game? Do you think that this team will come top or be relegated? When was the last time you went to a match? There's a whole host of things that you can say, a lot of questions that you can ask that will enable the conversation to just keep flowing. Okay, the third one is an oldie, but it's a goodie. The good old-fashioned compliment. But when I say give somebody a compliment, I don't mean necessarily focus on something that is vague or ambiguous. You want to actually give a compliment that's very specific so the person has an opportunity to expand on their answer. Highlighting exactly what it is that you find attractive about the thing you're complimenting this person on now gives them an opportunity to open up to you about the details of how they came to have this thing. Maybe it was a gift, maybe it was something that they just purchased. Maybe they're going to say something like, oh, people keep complimenting me about this. Maybe it's a shirt or a cologne, a fragrance. It could be an object that they're wearing or that they own. And it's just opening that doorway for you to now have a deeper engagement with this person. You see, when people feel like you are genuinely interested in them, it makes them feel confident, it builds them up a little bit, it makes them smile. And obviously, once they start to feel even more relaxed and happy in your presence, the conversation is going to flow a lot more easy. Okay, so the next one I'd like to call the assistant. This is kind of like the damsel in distress, using her femininity to show her feminine, nurturing side. Okay, when you see a brother and maybe you're in the store, you don't have to do like me and struggle to try and get something off the shelf. You could just evoke that masculine energy, that masculine need to provide and protect within a brother by just simply asking for help. I'm a little bit small. I think I still need to grow a little bit. Would you mind please getting that down for me? It's an opportunity for you to compliment the person. You can say, oh wow, I really could use your muscles right now. You're so big and tall. I'm glad you was here to give me some assistance. Not only is it playful and a little bit flirty, you're showing the person that you are not too proud to ask for help. It's a great way to also start a conversation about what they're getting off the shelf. And on the flip side, you can also use your femininity to serve. If the brother himself is trying to get something down, maybe you're standing in the way, you could just hand it to him. Maybe he's dropped something and you pick it up. Again, it shows that you don't have an ego and that you're willing to be cooperative, submissive, that you have a nurturing and attentive side. And the last one is a little bit of fun. Maybe you're at a function, maybe you're at the pub or a bar and there's some type of quiz or activity going on, and you could just run over to somebody who you want to talk to and say, our team is one person short, do you want to join us? It's a great way to get the person involved. You don't know them, they don't know you, but because of the situation, you guys are able to have some fun. What's great about this is there's no pressure on the situation. It's not like an awkward interview style because you guys are engaging in an activity, which means that you don't have to actually spend a lot of time doing some intrusive question asking. You can just have some fun, chill, relax. And as you play the game or do whatever it is that you're doing, you gradually learn more and more about each other. Okay, so before you go out to conquer the dating world with your awesome new relating skills, we got to talk about some of the do's and don'ts. Okay, so you've got some icebreakers now in your back pocket and it's time to go out and try them. What are some of the biggest things to remember when you're going out to speak to people on the random? Well, we know this is one of the biggest causes of attraction. It's something that a lot of the people will not tell you, but you've got to go out there with a high level of sex. Now wait, before you get it misconstrued, I don't mean jumping into bed or just running around offering people a good time between the sheets. I'm talking about smile, eye contact, and excitement. You see, it's really important that you look like you're interested in the person and you're fully engaged in the conversation that you're having. If you look disinterested, the degree to which you look interested is the amount you're going to also get back. But it's natural when people are smiled at to just smile back. And it's a sign that you have respect and you're genuinely interested to give a person eye contact. Now, I know that it's hard for some people if they have low confidence or they're shy, and there are even certain conditions that make it very hard for people to look one another in the eye. But there's a little trick that you can use where you can actually fix your gaze on the space between the person's eyes. Although you look like you're looking directly into their eyes, you're actually not. And this will give you the opportunity to practice and build your confidence while actually still not feeling good to talk to somebody square in the eyes. Obviously, excitement is contagious. If you've ever been around somebody who's got a particular mood, you often find their mood can start to rub off on you the longer you stay in their presence. So if you're smiling, if you're looking vibrant and excited and interested to speak to this person, you're going to automatically feel like I'm getting a good vibe and I'm going to start giving it back. So just remember, when you're encountering people for the first time, whether it's in the workplace or in the supermarket, you want to be giving them a lot of sex. Another do to remember is to have open body language. Anytime you cross your arms or fold your legs, that's an indication that you're putting up a barrier and that you are not receptive to whatever the person is trying to say. So it's very important that when you're engaging somebody, especially for the first time, you look relaxed. Just like excitement, being relaxed creates a feeling of relaxation in the person you're also speaking to. One of the ways that you can convey openness with your body language is to adopt what is known as the L-shaped stance. One foot is facing forward, the other foot is slightly out to the side. If you're not sure what to do with your hands and you don't want them flopping beside your sides, you can just gently hold them together but not actually cross the arms. Again, you want to be receptive, you want to appear that you're open to conversation, and so closing off your body language is a psychological and subconscious way of telling the person you don't want to speak. Number one of the biggest ways to kill a conversation is to ask the very basic closed questions. Everybody knows closed questions are the questions that have a simple yes or no answer. Closed questions do not give a person an opportunity to really express how they feel about something, and it doesn't give you enough information to gauge whether this person is really interested in talking to you. By giving the person the opportunity to give a more extensive answer, you can now begin to see how much they're giving you those choosing signals and also how much they're enjoying the conversation. Not only are closed questions a conversation killer because of the nature of the question themselves, if you keep asking questions where the person is just like yes or no, it can almost feel like a bit of an interrogation. One of the next things I would say is avoid questions or conversations around money. Now, I love a good watch. When I see a man with a beautiful watch, I'm not going to lie, it does something to me. But I understand that a watch can be quite an expensive purchase, and I don't want to give off the impression that I'm sizing up this brother's wallet or maybe trying to evaluate exactly how much he's worth based on the things he has. By talking about money, cars, maybe expensive items that the person could be wearing, you could almost give the person the impression that you're maybe gold digging or that you're really only interested in the man because of his cash. This is not the first impression you want to create. Now, of course, things like this vary from person to person. People buy nice things because they want to show them off, maybe because it gives them pleasure, or because they are genuinely looking for a compliment. But for example, let's use the watch. I would be very careful which type of watches I make a comment on. Now, with all due respect, we know a Michael Kors is at the lower end of the expensive range. Okay, a Michael Kors may be just a few £100s, which is not a small amount of money, but it's not a huge sum compared to something like Breitling or Tag. If I saw a gentleman wearing a Breitling or a Tag watch, I definitely wouldn't make a comment about that watch, because it's obvious that that person has a substantial income. That's why they can afford such an expensive item. I don't want to look like I'm tallying up the person's amount, and so I'm not going to talk about something that is not necessarily a flashy statement piece as much as it is just a classy, expensive item that a high value man of means would wear. A Michael Kors, on the other hand, is designed to be shown off. It's got that bling, it's got that wow factor. And so I'm sure a person who wears a Michael Kors as an everyday watch would like to actually have a compliment. So just be wary of things like cars, watches, expensive shoes. To give a compliment on those things, it has to be something that you feel the person would appreciate and not feel like spooked out by. One of the ways I would encourage somebody to give a compliment about a car is simply just to say, wow, this vehicle is amazing. Can I take a picture from my collection? I have had people get out of the way so I can take pictures. I've sat in a few Ferraris and had my picture taken in the vehicle, because this is a nice way to tell the person, I appreciate what you have, but I'm not watching how much you have. Okay, so I think this is one everybody pretty much knows, but we still got to put it on the list. Avoid those sensitive topics. The last thing you want to do when you're creating a first impression is to come across as somebody who is spooked out, you're worried about current affairs, or you're just too heavy. So we know religion, politics, current affairs are kind of things we want to stay away from when you're initially getting to know somebody. They're not the most important things that you need to know about a person when you're starting to get to know them. So it's always good to not give the first impression that you're just consumed by what's going on around you. You're there to break the ice and get to know the person, not just their ideologies. And of course, I've said it before, but this time I'm coming from the other angle. I know earlier I touched on sex, and I said that we need to go out and be giving lots of people lots of good sex. But this time I'm actually talking about the literal sex. The last thing you want to do when you're trying to start a relationship with somebody is to come off as leechy. If you're somebody who's leading with your sexuality, that is ultimately going to create the kind of impression you do not want to create. You don't want to come off as somebody who's desperate, and you don't want to come across as somebody who just goes around randomly trying to engage people in this way. So as much as you're trying to be flirty, you want to be very cool with it. You want to be very mature and playful, not necessarily sexual. One of the great things about making random conversation with people, even if they do not end up asking you for your number or you giving them theirs, is that every opportunity that you get to speak to somebody is an opportunity to develop those social skills. A huge part of any relationship is great communication. So let me know how you're going to start relating today. Drop a comment in the comment section, like, share and subscribe, and I will catch you in the next one. Peace.